Hello, hello, it's Rangers Radio. Hello, hello, this is the phone-in show. We're on the air at 9 o'clock on every weekday night, taking calls from the bands. Hello, hello, it's Rangers Radio. Hello, hello, this is the phone-in show. We're on the air at 9 o'clock on every weekday night, taking calls about the Jazz.
Well, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Oxford, on the panel tonight is the one and only Big Stevie for the drum and his sidekick for the drum, the Bridgeman. Evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. How are you, Ox? Fine?
Good, mate. Good. Your good self?
Yes, brand new. How are you, Bridgeman?
I'm excellent, thank you. Can I just say a big good evening to you two guys here on the show, on the panel, and a huge good evening to the guys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans that are listening in all over the world. Good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
Right, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, Big Stevie. If anybody phones in and sets you up, it's absolutely nothing to do with me. Okay?
Right, that's good enough for me. Your word's good enough.
Or
Right.
me, Stevie, or me.
Oh, I don't know about that, Bridge. Do you know if people still out here out this direction?
You know when that bridge is lying, Stevie. His lips are moving.
That's untrue, by the way, and you know it. It's totally untrue. It's shocker.
And I bet
Another
you,
shocker.
if Mrs. Bridge was out here this new, she would agree with us.
What a terrible thing to say, by the way. I have to say it.
Do you like that hat? Yes. You don't, do you? No.
No, I don't know made that mistake for a long time, I must admit. It's always
Anyway.
yes.
Stevie, obviously we had Port Bear on last night and we've not heard for your good self. What did you make of Saturday's performance? A lot's happened since then, but what was your own personal view?
On the possession again in the first half, and we got to half time. I thought, we've seen this before last week, but fair play to them. They came out and they done well. I mean, it could have been 3 or 4. You know what I mean? There was one off the line, one off the post, a few shots here and there. We controlled the full game from start to finish, and I was delighted with it. I was actually delighted the way you could see changes happening in the game as well. Thanks, Steve Gerrard, to the wee word with the troops at half time, but they done a good job. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I was delighted, really delighted with the performance.
Do you think sometimes, and I include myself in this because we all do it, Bridge, are we too quick to criticise, mate?
I think we've got that tendency within the support to initially reel up straight away as soon as you see something no right, or you hear something's no right, or someone doesn't look as if he's playing very well, something like that, and we tend to sort of say, hey, you move on, and it goes on. It seems to build through the season, and yes, I think we're very quick to criticise, very quick. And I don't know whether that will change. I've got no idea. I certainly have tried to sort of minimise the criticism of the team and the players within it and the management and so on and so forth, the club in general. I don't want to minimise against other media people. Are quite happy to rattle them for sure.
Literally.
Yeah.
Stevie, I think it's a modern world where everything's instant, everything's blown out of proportion sometimes, and we get on people's backs and we criticise. Sometimes you've also got to give praise, and the second half performance was pretty good. Was the brilliant, but it was pretty good.
Sometimes, as you say, I've said this a million times, and I think we'll agree on it. We're a hard crowd to please. I mean, Rangers could have won 6-0 there on Saturday, and somebody would find some flaw. I mean, the week before, on different forums and on different things, there were some Rangers fans going OTT, talking about Gerrard and his tactics and this and that. And then 7 days later, he's great again because he's got a plan B and he's this and that. We are a hard crowd to please. But on the second half, I thought we played some nice stuff. Roof's no fully fit. You can see that. Big Itton's got some nice touches there and that. And Stephen Davis, I thought he had a good game, but he was trying to play that splitting pass through the defence all the time. It was getting to me a wee bit. But listen, guys, that for me, I think we could jump to pure conclusions from one game to the next, and we're a very, very hard bunch of guys to please. I said Rangers could have won 6-0 Saturday, and there's people would have phoned the show and found negatives rather than take the positives. It's just that
talking about standards, mate, can we also thank you for doing your talent scout for Rangers Radio? Linda phoned us and she was an excellent caller, mate.
Now, Stephen, I told you that story. I was wondering if you believed me or no. And I'm glad Linda came on, and I told it the exact same way as what Linda told it. Me and the local undertaker were having a wee blather, and she caught my eye because she was looking at her and I said to her, and I told you, it was a 5-minute conversation, and it ended up, she stayed a couple of doors away from my sister. I couldn't believe it. But it just shows you how far this show goes, far and wide. I mean, that was Gart Kosh, I'm Drum Chapel, but you get people all over the world listening, and they pick up on your voice. I mean, I was just blaring having a laugh with some of the boys at the top of the stairs, and there you go, she caught on to me, and it must have happened to the likes of Bridge and that and all. Surely.
Absolutely. A number of times, pal. A number of times. Crowded subway too.
And it was good to hear Linda on the show. The lassie talks a lot of sense. I was listening to a real good bear. It's brilliant.
I don't think she was as nice about you as you are about her. Let's put it that way.
To be fair, that was off air, wasn't it?
Of course it was. Only joking, Stevie.
Oh dear. Aye, but brilliant. But that was a good story, and there you go. When was that? That must have been, well, it was before the lockdown, so it was 6, 7, 8 months ago now.
Aye, it was. Aye, the Govan beer. Aye.
I want your thoughts, and Stevie first, then Bridge. I want your own personal thoughts, and I'm going to call it a saga because it's starting to build the Alfredo Morelos saga. What's your own personal thoughts, Stevie? I'm talking about your thoughts, no your thoughts on the club or the media thoughts. What's your thoughts?
I'm actually kind of scunnered right now, to be honest. I've been on this show today defending him when everybody was against him, when he was getting stupid sending off, and this is just, it's turning into a circus, and I think it's new time. Now, when his name never get mentioned in the pool for Saturday's game or the players, he's still a Rangers player. He's fit, so how's he on the team? Something's went on, and you're hearing bits and bobs, which is only rumours, and I don't listen to rumours until it's an official statement. I just don't listen to them at all. But it looks as if a wee man might have played his last game for us, and look, it's sad the way it's ended up for him if that is the case, but we just need to wait to see what happens, Ox. But it's a circus now, and I just wish one way or another it sorted itself out.
Bridgman.
Yeah, I can't disagree with what Stevie says. Like, there's nobody has been any more supportive than Rangers Radio of the lad. I think he's a fabulous player. I think he's the best player on his game that we've got at Ibrox at the moment. I know we'll get some people improving as well, but I think he has shown over the 3 seasons that he's been here that he's getting improved all the time, and he's scored more and more goals each season until the present. So obviously something's went wrong, and I hopefully it's not at his home, but I think something's went wrong, and the club don't like what's happening. And it might be quite as everybody said. Maybe he's just no interested or showing a disinterest, and I think that's sad because I think he's a smashing player and I think he's a smashing guy. My only concern, and I said it 2.5 years ago, is that Rangers should have got that boy in and got him English lessons straight away. They should have got him English lessons as part of his training. However, it matters. It's gone now. A lot of folks said he could speak English, but he really couldn't, and he's proven that. But it doesn't matter because the lad's where he is now, and I don't know if the stories are true. I'm like Stevie. I don't want to believe these things. I want to see our club coming out and denying all this, and saying no, because I don't want the boy to leave. I don't want the boy to leave, but we just don't know what's happening. And if we don't know what's happening,
would you want to keep a player that doesn't want to be there? But
oh, goodness sake, no, we would never want to do that. But we don't know if he doesn't want to be there. That's what I'm saying. From an official perspective, we don't know. We're hearing things coming out of the club,
I don't think the club, because of the business of football, Stevie, I don't think the club are going to come out and give a running story that Morelos wants to leave. You might damage your asset, and they're not going to put their cards very close to their chest there.
Aye. I mean, the club's not going to jump and come out every rumour it comes out. My God, they'd be coming out with 2 and 3 statements a day, wouldn't they? They'll probably, just as you say, they'll keep their cards close to their chest and take it for there. They'll try and get as much money, obviously, as they can. But I just think it's at a stage now where I think you're probably seeing Alfredo play his last game. That's just my deep opinion. But I've also got an opinion like there's bigger and better players left. It's sad to see the wee man gone because he has, if you look over the piece what he's done for us, he's been absolutely outstanding for us. Even in Europe, I mean, he was amazing in Europe. The bottom line is, see if you don't want to play for Glasgow Rangers, there's the door. And that's the bottom line. End of. It doesn't matter who it is. If your head's elsewhere, that's you done as far as I'm concerned. And I hate saying that about Alfredo because, as I said, I've been one of the guys banging on about him on this station for donkeys. I'm a big fan. If he's wanting to go, there's the door.
All right, mate. I don't disagree with you, mate. I've always thought that. Players are unhappy and they make the move to go. Nobody's bigger than the club bridge, and you get the best price you can and you move on.
Yes, indeed, and that's the way it'll have to be. That's why I'm saying I don't know, simply because I'm the type of person that sort of, I don't see it official about the Rangers. Then am I going to just jump on there and say this has happened or that's happened? I ask the questions on here sometimes, and sometimes an answer will come out, or maybe an answer will come out and maybe no, maybe they just say, no, let's just move on. And that's fair enough by everybody. I just hope that whatever it is, that the club are looking after both the club and the rest of the players that are there, because this can have a huge impact on the rest of the players. However, knowing the way they played on Saturday, it didn't look like it. It just didn't look like it at all. And some of the players were having a field day. And I'm talking about young Barker, for instance, playing one of his best games, if not his best game for Rangers, and young Ryan Kent storming the place. Fantastic stuff. And of course, our defenders doing the business.
Stevie, if Root's header goes in or Roth, as he was named on Saturday, Roth.
Aye. Jimmy Bella.
I believe somebody at the trainings put end at the end of his gear. So if Roof would have scored that header, which was a great effort, by the way, arguably a better effort than his goal, and his second goal was Merlot at Defoe finished and then Morelos finished. He scores 2 goals quite quickly. People move on, didn't they?
Well, that's it. Goals breed confidence. Just the same as the likes of our goalkeeper, my defence, they're breeding confidence through the team. They're playing absolutely outstanding as a unit. But as you said, if he gets a couple of goals, the more goals you get, the more confident you get. And then that feeds confidence through the team. Where we are now, I mean, if we beat Hamilton, but what is it, 16 or 18 points? And hopefully no lost a goal, but then absolutely outstanding. But Roof looks as if he just needs a wee bit more match fitness, and I think the boy will be bang on.
I hope so. I hope you're right there, Stevie. I think he looks quite neat around the box. He's no scared to be beside the centre backs when he's in there. So it looks good. He's smart enough to get in for good headers and things like that. A couple of nice wee touches at the weekend, hitting the post and bringing the goalkeeper bringing some saves. I think he could be a real bonus for us. He reminds me of the way he plays to me anyway, a young Jim Forrest. When Jim Forrest came in, he was like that. As soon as
as many goals as Jim Forrest, mate.
Oh God, that's what I'm meaning. He's no the biggest fella in the world. He's no 6'10" or anything like that. He's a neat player and he's got quite substantial legs and he's got a great shot on him.
Did Jim Forrest play for Drumchapel Amateurs?
He did. He was a Drumchapel Amateurs boy.
This is my fair night, is it?
This is you're speaking about one of the best areas for bringing up footballers.
I told you the good thing that came out of Drumchapel was the number 90 party.
I went Bellier Reid.
What a good Rangers men for the drum. Andy Gray, John McDonald.
Yeah,
I believe it.
I know that, mate. But that's only because he couldn't afford the house and party.
And Kingy Boy, let's not forget Kingy Boy's for the drum. He's a good one, I know.
So if people want to join us, I've touched a nerve there, Bridge. If people want to join us, what's the number?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at RangersRadio.online, where you'll be brought in a call by Old School Boer Fox. If you phone in on the phone, please phone in, hang up, and we will contact you right back through the technical team. Yeah. Morelos. So just quickly, Stevie, you think he's played his last game? Yes.
Aye, unfortunately, Ox. Unfortunately, the wee man's 20, 25 goals a season, easy, isn't he? And it's sad to see him under this situation. He's just been trapped. Look, Gerrard could be totally right in doing what he's doing. If he was the reason his game at training, some of the rumours that were getting said, then Gerrard's got every right to trap him. The wee man's head's been turned. It's the bottom line. It's the only thing I can see, but all the rest, the rumourville, propagandists and everything else, try to upset the apple cart. I don't listen to them with Rangers release something official. But unfortunately, I think Morelos is off-ski.
Bridgeman.
Yeah, I have to. Sorry, Oxter, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but I have to agree. It looks the way things are, because we're not hearing anything, this feeling among the Rangers fans, whether they're saying anything or not, the feeling they're getting is, in all probability, it's been his last performance for us, the last game. He's not going to play a kick and a ball for us. That's the way it feels. Obviously, we'll not know that until the last, shall we say, signatures on the form type of thing,
Okay, we'll join the first caller for the evening. Evening, caller. Hello, mate. How you doing?
Not too bad, yourself?
What's your name, mate?
Luke.
All right, mate. All right. What's on your mind, mate?
No, I just wanted to come on and talk about the Morelos side. That I feel a lot of people, are saying that if he does go, the goals that we'll miss. But the thing that a lot of people haven't, been paying attention to is the fact that he's always had his issues and his likes of he's lost his times where he's not turned up, as you say, the Hearts game in the Cup, thrown away off the Columbia, cost us in that game. He's had his suspensions, which may have obviously put records in the last 6 months of last season. And the same thing happened in the first season. Now, the thing with that is if we'd known what the likes of this would have happened as of last season, there was no replacement striker. So that's why I feel that, it's similar again in this season. So if you get rid of them, you don't have to worry. We've got the two strikers that are obviously ready. We've got Ruth that's firing. So I think it'd be a good deal for all parties if we can get the 15 million, let him go happy, because the longer this goes on, the worse it's going to affect the whole club and the players going forward.
I'll tell you what, well said. Look, well said. I mean, obviously, people have a different view because there is certain supporters love Morelos, but I think you put up a real good argument for why it's time to shake hands and move on. Big Stevie.
Aye, Maid's got a lot of good points there. He did have a disciplinary issue. There's no two ways about it. But, you know, the good, he done a lot of good for us. You know, the goals and everything else he done. He was never injury prone or anything like that. I just think at times the boy, he was booked in the tunnel before he came out. He was treated differently in my eyes, just my personal opinion, based on the games he came on with the referees. The boy never got a fair crack at the whip, but you're totally right. The times that Rangers stuck by him, let him go and visit the family, he came back a day late, and he cost us. He did, aye, you're totally right. But
I think it's time they need to realise that, you know, it can't go on any longer. This is the time to let him go, and Gerrard and the board need to respect that, and they'll understand if they don't, this could really affect us, you know, come the end of the season yet again. So that's the thing, you just don't want him in the headlines for the wrong reasons.
Yep.
Yeah, well said again. Look, I think you put up a great argument. Bridgeman? Oh, he's talked to. Come on, Bridge. Come on, Bridge.
I would start dishing out yellow cards for that. I really
I can't
would.
get. There you go. That's better. Ah, for God's sake, we're away now. Right. Sorry about that. Look, where are you from, pal?
Just South Glasgow.
I don't have your address, mate.
Did you say south of Glasgow or outside Glasgow?
Just South Glasgow, so just outside it, yep.
Don't give me your address, mate. I never got it.
No. Well, but well said. Everything you said there, very sensible. And it's nice to hear someone else saying something. And all the things that you said, that if you cut them up into smaller chunks, you'll find there's been a lot of Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio have said similar, not necessarily the exact same words, but similar meanings to what you said. And it's really nice to hear someone somebody new on the phone. Have you been on here before, Luke?
No, I mean, I've been followed on Twitter by the Rangers Radio, so no, I know from there. Which
we're stalking you. We're stalking you, Luke.
Stalking you, yeah. No, I just want to say congratulations. Well done, pal. Really good points brought up and sensibly said as well. Well done. I agree with everything you said.
Worries. Thanks for having me.
Look, there's two Morellises, but and I'll take this. Oh, he's left us. Luke's left us. But there's two Morellises, Big Steve, ain't there? There's Morelos, the football player that we've seen have some outstanding performances, and then there's Morelos who, when he just walks around, he does petulant things. Because let's be honest, most of the time it has been petulance, isn't it?
Aye, there's no in between, the wee man. You know, there's absolutely no in between. He's either doom and gloom or he's doing everything right. You know, it's just one of these things. And look, as the boy says there, he's probably, and knows the time we probably shake hands with him. If we can get even 16 million quid for the wee man, Bernard might be going for £1 million. You know, he was a wee diamond in the dirt that we found. If we part comfortably with him now, wee handshake away, then no, nobody's stood.
Oh, hello, we'll join by another caller. Evening, caller.
Evening, it's Henry here.
How are we doing, Henry? All right, mate?
No bad, mate, no bad. Yourself?
I am all right, mate. What's on your mind?
What's on my mind is, I think somebody says it earlier, I think the Rangers fans, we need to calm down, because see, every week we're kind of demanding 6 and 7 goals, and we're forgetting what happened last year. I mean, we've brought in a couple of good forwards, I think, in Ruth and 18, and I think these guys need about another 2 or 3 games just to get their fitness up to top shape, and I think we'll see a big difference in the 2 guys. But I mean, I think we need a strong. If Morelos did go, I think we need to use that money to bring in a strong midfielder, kind of box to box Barry Ferguson type guy.
Well,
somebody could just.
Where do we find them, mate?
I know exactly, but I'm saying you're going to have to pay. I reckon you're going to have to pay the same kind of money we threw out for Ryan Kane. So if Morelos goes for 15, 18 million pound, I think we've got to use a big chunk of that to get the guy. I really do. I think we need to. Right. We're looking at just to put the final screw in the piece of jigsaw that we need. I think we need to. We're looking at, if you want a top midfielder, I think, well, maybe not so up the top, but somebody that Jared would know. I think he knows exactly what he's looking for this year. And I think Jared and Gary McAllister, that's the type of guy we need. Gary McAllister,
Steven Gerrard.
Steven Gerrard, yes, there you've got it there. But I think Aribo's been a big plus for us this year, and I think that's what's allowing us to take our time with these signings, because we've got nobody I didn't expect Aribo to kick on the way he's kicked on, and I certainly didn't expect Ryan Jack to be as strong as he is, what he was in the last game there. And I think people need to look at Ryan Jack, because I think he's been the unsung hero in the last couple of games, because I think people don't realise he's fallen back, and it's a little like Bona and Tav to get forward. What he's doing is, if you notice it, he goes out to the right hand side, which he did in that last game there against Kilmarnock, and then he went out to the left side to cover the left back, and people don't see that because they're too busy hoping the ball's going to go forward and move forward, and they're not seeing what Ryan Jack's putting in and anything. I don't know what you think about that yourself.
We had a quick discussion about that last night, and I'll take that to Stevie then, because we obviously were critical of the performance against St Mirren, Livingston, but as a team game,
Livingston,
good point. We were critical, but when he lets Tav and Bonner spring forward, and then he also pops up sometimes forward. I would be interested to see the miles that he covers in a game. But Henry, can I ask you? Great call, by the way. Nice for you to come on. First time on the show. How long you been listening? How did you discover Rangers Radio?
I've been listening to these for about 6 months, but I discovered it through I'm on different Rangers like websites and things like Ibrox Radio, yourself, right? So you hear it from other guys, listening here, and that's how it was Alex Kelly actually mentioned you, and I know Alex has on you quite a few times, so it was through Alex I got to know about these guys, but brilliant. I love listening to you on. Good crack as well,
Some of them.
That's a great point, mate, about Ryan Jack, but also like your fact that you think we overreact, because I think sometimes we have got to calm down. I think it's a modern way. Big Stevie.
Gary argue with much what the guys said there, Ox. We can be dead critical. We've already covered that. It's the Ryan Jack thing for me. Ryan Jack wouldn't book my Rangers team, but I just think when you've got what would you call him? Kamara.
Kamara, yep.
I just think there's too much of the muchness for the two of them. And even when Artfield comes on, I think there's a pace issue there. But Ryan Jack, for me, is probably an unsung hero, and people don't realise what he does in that game. As you say, Docs, he covers some amount of that ground, so he does, each game. But for me, he stays in the team, but I just think there's times where they shouldn't need to get in that pocket, push forward a wee bit. We know he's stopping, he's letting people go up, and he's staying back in case anybody gets a breakaway or whatever. He's letting people go up. I understand that, but there's just times where they should, we all know what he's doing, but they should trot forward a wee bit more. I mean, it was last year, I think it was up in Dingwall, wasn't it? He got a couple of goals. He started shooting outside of the box and he got a couple of goals. But we're looking for a wee bit, at least 1 or 2 shots each game. If we could get that out of him, maybe one of them will win. As I say, scoring goals breed confidence. He's a midfielder. We know he's a defensive midfielder, but when Rangers are pushing up, man, he's got to sometimes say, right, I'm going to the edge of the box here. That's just my only wee problem with him. But no, I've not got any argument with much of what the guy said there. Absolutely great call, right?
We'll be coming to Albert.
See what you think. See what you were saying there. Hello? Sorry, see what you were saying there. What I find is if you look at the statistics, you mentioned it yourself there, Kamara. I find when you've got Jack and Kamara, if you look at it, just take the 5 games plus a European game into installation, the new. If you look at the games, when Kamara, I've been shouting out it in other websites and things like that, I think Jack plays better with Davis than Kamara. If you watch Jack has more shots. He moves a wee bit forward. He moves the ball forward. He's got more confidence playing with Davis. I think when you put Kamara in with Jack, you lose something for Jack, because I don't think Jack feels confident enough to move forward. And I find you've got two guys, as you said before, they're similar guys. They get, you know what I mean? Because Kamara gets to the 18-yard box and it's every says, "Oh, what do I do?" And he just puts it back. And I think Jack tends to fall into that. Where Davis, when you see Stephen Davis, people say to me, "Oh, but he's 30 years. He's no good at it." I would rather play Davis before I'd play Kamara if he's fit.
Listen, you're going to get bad for here, Henry. You're far too sensible, mate.
He is. Get him off.
I'm going to bring in Albert, and then we'll go on the panel. And
Can I comment on what Henry says?
Yeah, let me just say hello to
Right,
Albert.
no problem.
Because,
No problem.
You know, every minute's a bonus for him at his time of life. Evening, Albert.
Thank Christ she talked to me before she started talking to me. I'm all right. I'm good, mate. How are you, Stevie, Bridge, Henry? How's you all doing?
Okay, Albert, yourself.
I'm good, mate. I'm good, thanks.
We'll be right
I
with
just
you,
thought
Albert. We'll be
all right,
with
sorry, mate.
Yeah,
Sorry, mate.
Bridge's answered to Henry. On you go, Bridgeman.
No, I just wanted a quick. I agree everything Henry says, and the way he's speaking there, and we've discussed at great length both before games and after games, and you can sometimes see the difference in our thoughts. I have been a big supporter of Ryan Jack, and sometimes when I watch him play, I think he's a brilliant player. I actually had him down 2 years ago. I had him down to be the next Rangers captain. That's what I thought, he would be the next Rangers captain, bringing him down for Aberdeen. But it's proven to be wrong, and he does work well with Stephen Davis. I understand that, but I also think he plays quite well with Kamara. The last couple of times that they've played together, apart from the Livingston game, I think they've done quite well. I think the games before that, we have been badly unfit, and we've been caught up 4 months without playing football seriously. So that's all we're getting past all that, getting hours and minutes into the legs, and we'll hopefully see if we can get past this weekend with a victory. Then there's another 2 weeks to recover whatever wee bit we need to recover, and I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful. So well done, Henry. Magic to hear that comment.
Thank you.
Henry,
Thank
is
you.
it about getting the blend right? I mean, there might be times where you might play Kamara, but you might not play Davis. But there's games like
I think Kamara. After I was listening to Neil. He managed the Dundee team. It used to be his manager. It was Neil McCann. I was listening to Neil McCann, and Neil McCann says he can do a lot there. Do you remember one of the games last year? I think Kamara, he dummied Brown and he ran with the ball, and he's got a good set of legs on himself when he decides to open their legs up. But he doesn't do it enough. To me, as if the guy, he just lacks that wee bit of motivation on the park to just go for it. Do you know, just to go for it? And I just feel if he did that, he could quite be like what Aribo's doing now, because you can see he's got the talent. He's a big guy. He could easily punch Brown off the ball, no bother, or any player off the ball, no bother, because he's got the strength, he's got the guile, and he's also got the technique, because he doesn't need to move fast to skin a player. I just think he could be a good number 8. That's the thing I'm looking at for Kamara. I just don't know if it's the position he's playing. He's been asked to hold back, and he just thinks when he gets to the 18-yard box, we'll have not to go any further. I just think when he was playing against Dundee, McCann was giving him a more freedom role, and I've not saw that yet. But I've just seen it in a few games. But I'd like to see him getting a wee bit of free range, just like Hadji gets. I would like to see Kamara not playing the Hadji role, but like the Arfield role. I would like to see him playing just slightly behind the number 10, maybe a number 8, and just getting asked to provide that fourth player position for the first 3. If you'd Kent, Hadji, just say for talking sake, and Ruth, I would like to see Kamara being that next 4, just to rush through, because I think he's got that capabilities.
Okay, mate. Listen, you hang on, mate. Albert, what's on your mind?
Just a bit of Morelos carry on. I mean,
on you go, bro.
In my opinion, the voice had been dropped months ago. He's just not been there. He's not been there. I like the player. I've said I liked him before. But to my mind, he was a first choice striker now. But as soon as he started talking to Lille and other clubs, that was him. For me, he was done there and there for me. As far as I'm concerned, if we get 18, 20 or 20 odd million pounds for him, it's no bad for a first striker, know what I mean? So it's time to go. Time's well up for the boy now. And by the way, he's not leaving Scotland, in my opinion, because he's getting big offers and because of Rangers. He's getting chased out of Scotland, let's be honest here. I mean, his memories of Scotland, you've got to think his memories are going to be of Scotland, getting racially abused and getting totally slaughtered in that, the tabloids all the time. That's his memories of Scotland, being totally refereed to a different standard. So when that boy leaves Scotland, I'm fully expecting him to have a lot to say about Scotland when he leaves, and it's not going to be good. And I don't think it should be good, because this country has treated him, apart from the Rangers fans, have treated him dreadfully, absolutely dreadfully. So if the wee man goes, best of luck to him, know what I mean?
Stevie, and then we'll go to Henry.
What Albert was saying there, I don't know if he was my fourth striker or no. I wouldn't say as far as that. I understand what he means by that, but, you know, for me, he started the season really good. I mean, he was brilliant up at Aberdeen. I thought Morelos was great at Aberdeen. And then he got a couple of goals there against St Mirren, wasn't it? Or St Johnstone, was it St Mirren? I just think he's been turned a wee bit this season. As far as what Albert was saying there, Ox, about the tabloids and their off deal, I've shouted it with the Hills for years on here now. The boy never got a fair crack at the whip at all, regarding referees. Referees couldn't wait to book him. We seen it with the young man there at the last Celtic Rangers game. Before he even hit the 6-yard box, he was in his back pocket getting the red card out. We've seen the abuse the Aberdeen fans gave his mother. We've seen everything he's done.
Hang on, Stephen. Turn the show off, please, caller. The caller's just joined us. Turn the show off. Carry on, Stephen.
We've all seen what they've done to the boy, you know, and it was a case of Stoke Morelos, you Stoke Rangers. So they hit him with everything. The referees, the FA, every single one of them mustered up together like glue to do the boy, the papers, tabloids, everything you read was all bad press. But really, the charity work the boy was doing behind the scenes never got a mention. His goal-scoring capabilities never got a mention. He's a Colombian international, never got a sniff. Everything was just negative for the boy, you know. And I'm going to be totally brutally honest. I think Stevie Gerrard and Gary McAllister Rangers have looked after the boy the best they can. But I think his head's been turned now. His head's really been turned now. And Gerrard and McAllister only dropping him for nothing.
Henry, before we go to the new caller.
I agree with everything you've said there. I think I agree with the media. The only thing I think I feel sorry for is that I know Stephen Gerrard is an honest guy, I know that. I'd have liked to have kept a wee bit of that information in-house, do you know what I mean, instead of feeding it in, because as far as I'm concerned, you've got things like PLZ and you've got other Radio Septic, as I call it, Radio Clyde, and they've been, that boy could, like, the Commander game, minute he get booked, and he done nothing. One wee argument with the referee showed a bit of face, and the referee pulled out the yellow card as quickly. Yet you had the new boy for Kilmarnock who was pulling Oris Golson's shirt. He had a go at Hollander's shirt. He was pulling shirts, never got a booting. There were guys going near the ball. The referee was allowing it. Morelos, one thing, bang, as a guy says here, yellow card right away. The referees, your Celtic media, I know the rest of it, have been having a go at this guy, the SFA, SPFL, it's run by Peter Lawwell, or as I call him, Lywell. They're running the football. You know what I mean? So, as I say, it's everybody's against us, but we are the people. You know what I mean?
Nobody likes us. We don't care. We've been joined by another caller. Evening caller. How we doing?
How you doing? You good, lads?
What's your name, mate?
Martin.
How you doing, Martin? First time on?
First time, mate. It popped up my Facebook feed on Saturday before the game. Listened before and after the game. So, been in the last couple of nights. Good just to hear like-minded people.
You in, Martin, then? You must be on medication.
I mean, it's the Budweiser, isn't it? I can't help myself.
All right, mate. What's on your mind?
you touched on it a wee bit last night with Nathan Patterson potentially getting flung in if something happens to Tav. But obviously we used to have Polster, Flanagan, and then Halliday would even come in at left back. But my concern now is if something happens to Barisic, we've got that boy Calvin Bassey. But is he ready? Do we need to start giving him more game time the way Patterson's getting just now, just to get him ready? Do you know what I mean?
Good comment.
Left back just now, something like, say Barisic does manage to get away with Croatia, he picks up an injury. Who have we got at left back that's solid and reliable and tested?
We've not seen a lot of the boy Bassey, you're right. We'll go to Stevie and then we'll go to Henry. Then, yeah.
And me?
No.
Okay.
Of course we'll go to you. Go to Stevie.
Aye, the guy's totally right. The guy, that's a brilliant point. If anything happens to Barisic, it's an international duty. Who we got to go coming in there? Big Shirley's not had a lot of game time. Maybe that's down to the kind of if we were up to 2-0 up at maybe half time, maybe then he might have got on and got a couple of minutes under his belt, you know. But great point, by the way. That's an absolute cracking point. And I think it was mentioned I know, but nobody's really pushing Tav. I know we've got the young boy Patterson there, but again, is he not the same as Big Shirley because he's not a lot of game time?
Somebody said last night that it wouldn't be fair to wrap him in. So say worst comes to the worst, get a game against that mob, and then you've had to play either Bassey or Patterson in for the start. Because the game that sticks out for me, remember we had Sean Goss on loan? I know it's a different position, but do you remember his first All Firm game? And you could actually see him getting physically weird as the game went on. It just shrunk till he disappeared, and then you never see him again.
Do you think there's a chance if that was to happen? And I accept your point before we go to Henry. Do you think if Tav and Barisic ran into each other in training and the two of them weren't playing right, do you think that Bassey and Patterson would come in, or do you think that we would use for centre halves who are fit to play in different positions?
I think you'd be moving one of them. I think you need to go with a bit more experience in one of the positions, wouldn't you?
I don't know what would happen. Go to Henry and then we'll go to Bridgman, who's sitting patiently.
Regarding Bassey, I don't know. I mean, obviously we got him for Leicester, right? But I remember when we got him, and I was reading right away up, and we start buying players. I go into websites and things like that. And one of the things I watched on is Brendan Rodgers. He was on Sky TV.
Good. Can you watch your language on here, please?
But one thing he was really angry about was he lost him, and he was saying that when he was on Sky when they done the Zoom thing, when it was all because he felt that he was going to fit him in that Leicester team this year when they start, and he couldn't work out how Leicester let him go, and you could see it in his face. So I think we have to see a lot more of Bassey. I think I wouldn't worry too much about him, because I think if he's asked to do a joke, that boy will go out and do it. And I think it's like everything else. I mean, if you're old enough, and you're fit enough, then you should get in there, just like Derek Johnson when he was 17 and went on against Celtic. Who says he wasn't going to score a goal and we won the cup with him? So he is. Just take things before we look at what if he gets injured or what if he gets injured. My thing is this year we just don't look ahead. Just take each game as it comes, because this is the way we'll need to do it. We'll just need to take each game it comes and play, because we're going to be playing on another plastic pitch against Hamilton. So you know what I mean. So I don't see Steve Davis playing that. I don't see, I can honestly see through time. I mean, the guys are talking about, are we going to have maybe a 3-5-2 against Celtic when we play them at Parkgate? Because we've now got three big defenders there. The new guy we brought in, Hollander's playing well. You've got Golson playing well, and have your Tav and your Bono pushing up. Now, let's say we lost Bono, as the boy says there. We could quite easily go to a back three and just say to Bassey, right, you're pushing up, right? And all I want you to do is help Hollander if anybody comes down that right hand side. They're right, but they're right, we're left. So if Forrest was coming down the right, you know what I mean? So we've got options now, and that's the thing that I think Jerry's looked at, and that's why it's not worrying him about having somebody. I think Bassey is going to be cover for Bono.
All right, Bridgeman, in you come, mate. I'll say it, Henry, again.
No, I think the guys are talking sense. Very good speakers tonight. Talking sensible stuff. I think that when he mentioned 3-5-2, I have a great. I want 3-5-2 at Ibrox as soon as possible with whatever team we can get. I don't think we're ready yet. I don't think we've got the defence that would cope with it. We're still to see Balogun being the top man, and if you're going to move someone to the left, you can use Helander. If you want to move somebody to the right, then you've got Bolton. So very good three guys there. Hopefully, you would need to have them tested first, and we haven't done that yet. But I'm under no illusion about the 3-5-2, and I think that everything else that the lads that have phoned in have said has been very, very good and sensible, and I'm really happy with it. So there you go.
Alder, and you come, mate, and you come, bro.
I think we're trying to paint the perfect scenario here, a perfect squad. It doesn't work out that way. It's you suck it and see when you get the injury. You wait till you get there and hope you never do get the injury. You know what I mean? Because Barisic is the first choice left back, and Tavernier's first choice right back. So I don't like getting into all these scenarios, because I think we just tempt fate with us, Kerry. You know what I mean? So it's, you suck it and see. And as long as they're all fit, they play. As far as I'm concerned, they are the natural first team choices, and they're doing it by merit. No, I mean, it's no like say, we don't know what one to put in. Would we really put Bassey in at left back or Barisic in at left back? If it's a choice between the two, Barisic wins every time. I'm not saying the boy will not come good, but the boy Bassey one day. But how do you get him game time? This is the scenario. What we're looking for, and you're never going to get, is two players for every position, and the two players fully match fit for every position. That'll never happen. That's impossible. It can't happen. So it's a suck it and see as far as I'm concerned. And there's plenty of options there now. That's what you can hope for now. Plenty of options to compensate for any injuries now.
Mm-hmm. All right, Martin, I'm not a great fan of rotation. I think you should try and win every game, play your best team. But I think you've also got to be sensible with your substitutions, and I think you get natural rotation where people get suspended and injured, etc., and sometimes loss of form. So I think as the season goes on, even Tav had a couple of games out last season, which is unusual for him. They might get a chance. Bassey came on against the last game at Ibrox against St Johnstone, and he was unlucky not to score. He showed he's got a turn of pace. He's a physical unit. I wonder if he could cover both full backs. I've not seen enough of him to judge if he's totally left-footed, or could he be somebody who could cover both sides?
Aye.
No,
it's good to hear other folk have got kind of content. I know the chat had been about trying to get two players in every position, but I don't think realistically you're ever going to have that. But it's just something that's been niggling in the back of my mind coming up. I hate international football as it is, and I'd hate to see. I've got a right fondness now for Barisic. I hated him when he first came in. I don't his attitude, but obviously that's all changed. So,
what's your own view on Morelos? We talked about earlier on tonight. Do you think he's off, mate? Do you think he's played the last game for the club?
I think a lot of rumours, but I think I'm similar to some of the guys I've heard tonight. See if your head's turned and you're looking elsewhere. That's enough for me. If you don't want to be at Rangers, just go, because 9 times out of 10, in fact 10 times out of 10 for me, it's a step down. I checked earlier on tonight. At Leo, the average attendance is 30-something thousand of a 50,000 stadium. Yeah. They're not going to get the fan base that we've got. They're not going to get the love for the players that we've got. So if he's gone for money, fair due. I just want to make sure we get the best out of him or the best fee, and we get a nice sell-on clause if possible, just in case.
People don't always go for money. When Sky came in for Bridge, he decided to stay. But we've got to be honest. We have got a reasonable squad, Stevie, and then we'll go down the panel again. Stevie and Henry. Our squad is reasonable. We want every game to be winning 4-0, as Albert said. Perfect storm. And then we can put on 5 substitutes to give people game time. It ain't going to happen like that, is it?
No, that's perfect world scenario, isn't it? It's never going to happen like that, you know. There's always going to be... We're going to be streets at some point. We just need to try and be best prepared, the best we can prepare for it when it does come, whether it's injuries or suspensions and, you know, both at the same time. But I think we've got a reasonable good squad. I mean, take my squad back 24 months and look where we are now, guys. You know, it's absolutely night and day. Night and day, so it is. You look at the bench now, you're saying there's guys that can come off the bench and actually do something for you. We never had that even 12 months ago. You know, I think my pool of boys are all right. The squad players that we've got are good enough to come on. Just getting back to one of the points we were talking about there, I can only agree with Ox. I think if Barisic or Tav get injured, I think he would play a bit of experience. I definitely think he'd play another centre half to cover that and go to young boy Patterson. And that's no disrespect to the boy Patterson, because he's come on leaps and bounds lately, you know. He looks a vision for the future, but I just think this season, a lot of pressure. I think it would be for experience if anything happened.
Before we go to Henry, I think we've been joined by Malcolm. Evening, Malcolm.
How are you doing, boys? Okay?
How's your good self, mate? How is it with your part of the world?
No, we're still under this 6-month lockdown. It's terrible here, absolutely terrible.
And how's the weather? If you want to make,
Oh, the weather's hot, but I've not had a beer for 6 months because we've got this curfew on 10 o'clock at night.
You have it for Lent, mate?
Aye?
You have it for Lent?
Has the postal arriving, Malcolm? Malcolm.
I've been teetotal for 6 months.
Is the postal arriving, Malcolm? We can send you a carry out if you want.
Yeah, the thing is, it'll take about 6 months to get here.
Watch yourself, Malcolm. You're
Watch
saying too much, son. Watch yourself.
Listen, Malcolm, we can, if you want to deliver, we can maybe put ourselves foot, mate, and bring it out of you.
I can't even get out the country. I'm stuck here anyways. You know.
Tell people where you are, Malcolm, because not everybody knows.
Oh yeah, I'm in here in the Philippines.
Yep. So there you go, Henry. You're talking to somebody for the Philippines. Mental, isn't it?
Oh, no bother, eh? Oh, brilliant. Dial-a-boos.
Who wants to deliver? Malcolm?
You'll do well.
What's on your mind, Malcolm?
I'll get Mr. Mawagi. He'll deliver that for you, Malcolm.
Well, that'll be absolutely fantastic, mate. Yeah.
What's on your mind, Malcolm?
Kid free. Eyeball and goalie.
Mr. Miyagi, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I just
on you go, Malcolm.
Yeah, just saying about Morelos. I think, like you said, he's two different players, but at the end of the day, if you get 16 million, shake his hands, and I'm sure the majority of the Rangers fans will wish him well and his wife and his kid in his new future. And I say, all I say is all the best to the guy.
Aye. Martin, do you get any views on that, mate?
No, I'm saying, like, it's been a difficult one, isn't it? Because sometimes you get a couple of goals out and you think this is cracking, and then the next week he's walking about with his hands in his pockets. He looks as if he wants to be anywhere else apart from the game. So I'm kind of at the stage I've been long on about now. If it was just give the money, give a sell-on clause, and we'll fill in spaces elsewhere.
Albert, you're the same, isn't
I'm the same, obviously, mate. The trouble with Morelos is he can, if this keeps going on like this, he's going to upset the whole squad. And I'll tell you, the game on Saturday where I watched, I don't know if we used, I think Rangers played well on Saturday. I thought both offs. I know they were slow the first half, but I'll tell you, that game there on Saturday is the best game we've played this year, by a country mile, in my opinion. And that's us coming out the hangover for the turn of the winter break. That's us actually getting out the hangover now. That carry on, and you've got to look at the team. And you've got to look at you've got to look at what the changes were. And the real big changes, apart from Barker coming in the team, was Hadji and Morales getting dropped out of the team. All of a sudden, the team start clicking. You've got two players up front who want to be here, and Roof. They're okay, they're unproven yet. Okay, I'm not saying they're brilliant players yet. I think they've got the potential, definitely be really, really good players. But you've seen the whole different in the dynamic of the team, the speed of the team, the pace of the team, the attitude of the team. I looked at it on Saturday and went, now we look if we can do something. And I believe this team has got the ability to be a special team, really, honestly. And the criticism they got after Livingston, they should have got that criticism. That wasn't over the top at all, guys. They should, because this team has got something special in it, and you can't let them drop their standards. We need to keep their standards up. And with Morelos being in the team and moping about the way he's moping about, it's affected. It can, not saying it is, but it could affect the other players.
Malcolm, so you think it's time Sheikh Khan's move on, get another player to benefit the team and strikers? Yeah.
I agree with Albert. I watched the game. The one thing about the Philippines, I can watch every game because I can stream it and I never miss a game, that's one good thing about being out here. But I agree with Albert says. I tell you what, once that Roof gets his match fitness, and you think about it, you got an on-form Kent, an on-form Roof or Roth, whatever he is, and then you got a Rebo. I tell you what, them three alone are going to terrify defences. What do you think of that?
Well, I've just got one bone to pick with you, mate. It's all right watching the game. It's not quite the same without a tennis lag in your hand, you know what
I mean? Don't rub it in, Ops. Don't rub it in.
Malcolm, can I ask you a quick question, Malcolm?
On you go.
Yeah.
It's just whereabouts in the Philippines are you?
Well, I'm in a place, an island. It's called Mindoro, which is west of Manila. It's about from Manila. It's about an hour's bus journey. A 2 hours bus journey, and then it's an hour by a boat over to Mindoro.
Oh God!
How long have you been living there, bud?
12 years.
12 years.
Don't
done.
Don't tell them your address.
No, don't worry. I don't want to know.
Bridge, what were you asking for? Were you going to go there tomorrow, like?
Not at all. Not at all. We're doing a new venture, and people who phone up from far-flung places, we're going to send people over to interview them and see how they live. So I think Oxford's starting with me next year.
You've already been to the Philippines, mate, with General MacArthur.
I'll be back.
Well, I did 22 years in the army. See, so what I did was I decided I'm going to get out of the country. I'm going to retire across here. So
Bridge done 22 years with a uniform as well, but it was a different one.
It didn't suit me. It didn't suit me.
Stripes on it.
And of course, the women are very beautiful over here. I'm sure you've heard.
Oh, we'll take your word for it, Malcolm. We'll take your word for it.
You sure that's a woman?
No.
Boys. I don't live in Thailand. It's the Philippines.
All right, lads. Go to that time of the evening. If you're on the phone, if you can just click your mute button, we're going to have a tune. So get yourself in mute.
Over slopes and great grandstands, and I dreamed about the Rangers, the best team in the land. When my memory suggested of a vision bright and clear of the strange things that would happen if we had the Rangers here. Now if the road to Ibrox Park way up the Shankill, and Ryan Loudrup came from Sandy Road, and Alistair Toyce came from East Belfast, and old Belfast became then Old Glasgow. If the Rangers met the Celtic up at Windsor. Sure, no green flags at that game. They would appear. Ulster's sons would never roll, and all the boys would stay at home. If we only had the Rangers over here. I dreamed about her Ulster around the world was suddenly the campus too. I have dreamed of Whitey MacDonald, who came from Lisburn town, and the greatest Billy Simpson, who never let them down. Now if the road to Nycox Park, way up the Shankill, and Brian Ledger came from Sandy Road, and Ali McCoist came from East Belfast, and then old Belfast became old Glasgow. If the Rangers met the Celtic up at Windsor, then no green flags at that game, they would appear. Ulster's sons would never roam, all the boys would stay at home. If we only had the Rangers over here. If we only had Glasgow Rangers over here.
If we only had the Rangers over here. That'd be wonderful for them, wouldn't it? Absolutely superb. Brilliant
You
song.
like that one, Big Stevie?
Oh, I love all these songs. Brilliant.
Tremendous.
I didn't know the Daleks supported Rangers.
Are you back with us, Malcolm?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Mate. If you're in the top of the side of the hill, are you on the phone?
Aye.
We're getting on a win for you, mate. We're picking it up. You need to get yourself a wee pair of buds, a wee pair of earphones, mate, and we'll not get interference.
Yeah, it must be the aircon.
Aye. We can pick up. They're so sensitive, mate. It's mental. You don't hear it, but we do. Malcolm, are you happy the way, before we move on, and just ask you personally, mate, because we like to hear from you. Are you happy the way things have gone this season so far? All right, we had a blip at Livingston, but so far so good, eh?
Absolutely, mate. I'm very proud of the team, and I really feel confident for this season. I really do.
Big Stevie, I hope he's right, eh?
Oh, 100%. I'm proud of the team as well. I think the team's done great. As I said, we're a hard bunch to beat. I mean, if we could take 16 plus 18 and no lose a goal, that would be absolutely fantastic. I think any one of us would have took that for a ball was kicked. Is the boy for the Philippines still on?
That's Malcolm, aye.
Yeah, I'm still here, mate.
Well, he did, before you go any further, he doesn't do package tour, so you just behave yourself.
Big Stevie for the drum here. Listen, did you get your castor gear all right?
Yeah.
And then
made in the Philippines.
I think Henry's back with us. Carry on. Is that you back, Henry?
Yeah, back.
All right, cheers, mate. Right, aye. Listen, Malcolm, always a pleasure, mate. Get yourself a pair of buds so we don't pick up the aircon, yeah?
Yeah, I will do, mate. It's 4 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, so I'm gonna have a cup of coffee.
So you got up for a pee and then you gave us a phone. Is that what you done?
Yeah, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, so.
Great to hear from you, Malcolm. You stay safe, brother.
Yeah, all the best to you, all the best, lads. Take care.
Well, cheers, Malcolm. You look after yourself.
Brilliant.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, bye-bye.
Aye.
Unbelievable. You two people with drum chapel. You thought Penny Lee was a jockey. Huh?
I used to take my passport to go to Saltcoats. I'm laughing at that boy. He says he can't get a drink. They want her tours, jumped in the car, and then another rule on the boat. They want he can't get a carry.
That's before he sees a soap.
Aye, but it just shows you it is mental, the power of this radio show, Big Stevie, innit? It's mental.
Oh,
aye, brilliant.
There a guy there up at all hours in the morning to listen to your dulcet tones and talk about the famous.
I was just about to ask him, Stevie, what are you doing at 4 o'clock in the morning?
Probably done in that queue at Asda.
I think he was up for a pee.
I think he was checking his distillery, that's what he's doing.
He's bootleg whiskey.
Big Stevie, you touched on something there. It's obviously we got a statement yesterday for Club 1872 about the cash store. I don't think we can avoid it, but before we start and we sort of deal with it, I believe Bridge has got the statement. I want to ask you something, mate. You've been over that time. You've been over that shop more times than anybody else I know. Stood in the queue, took off days for your work. How many bits of gear have you bought?
I've spent at least over £500 worth of gear out of that shop. No problems, no qualms. That's me being nice. Put it this way, the big man's got the 3 strips. Put it that way. I've got casuals, tracky taps. I even stole a hat off the mannequin. I've done everything. Honestly, unbelievable at the times I've been early. And you're right, I've took half shifts to go early and do that. That's correct.
Mm-hmm. So, the actual gear you've got, before all this broke, the back end of last week, I think it started back, when me and you were speaking, about your wee boy, you were satisfied customers, weren't you?
100%, mate. I absolutely love the guy. The gear's brand new. We've not had any faults whatsoever with us. Nothing at all. Real good looking strips. Quality's been bang on. I really can't. I can only talk for myself right enough,
Exactly. That's what I'm asking.
There's other people out there maybe got a different opinion of that, but I can only see what I've bought the gear for myself, a couple of I'm no one for buying the strips, but I bought a couple of training tops and stuff like that, and it's been brand new. I can't fault it,
Aye, all right, okay. So people have got a different experience. For Big Stevie, what's the number, Bridge?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at RangersRadio.online when you were brought into the call. And if you phone in an 0141 356 when you call in, hang up, let it ring a couple of times, we will call you back as soon as possible. Be patient, but we will call you back. We never fail.
I had a problem, Box, if I can come in and that. I've been here at the shop and got a few things, and I've got the tap and all that, and I've not got. I think the quality in the shop is probably it's coming across better than some of the quality it's coming online, because I think that's where the problems is happening. Because I was just listening to a few things online, and it seems to be whatever's coming from Turkey. It seems to be whatever's coming from Turkey. I don't know. People are saying after 2 washes that it's coming off. So I can't comment on it. I'm only listening to what people are saying, and you know what I mean. And the Rangers suppliers are saying
we've got the classic Persil aerial test. Big Stevie for the drum. Has Myra washed the gear?
Dear, I'll need to whisper this because if she hears me, she'll kill me.
Right.
No, I think. Listen, I think what's happened is, guys, the 2 young boys have no realised what the demand was when they were told at the start. Whatever you think the demand is, times it by 2. These boys just they've went elsewhere. They've had to go elsewhere to meet the demand.
Yep.
And I think the last caller has hit the nail right in the head. It's all the online gear. It's been getting sent out to people, and that they've been getting that for here, there, and probably everywhere to meet the demand. I think it's something that can easily be fixed next season. Now that Cadstone and the two young boys know the demand, the size of your club, I think they've been caught their trousers down. I really do. Pardon the pun.
Can I come in there just for a second, Oxygen?
Yes, you can, mate.
Just to say to everybody, remember there's Christmas coming up shortly, and a lot of folk will be starting to buy in and you know the new gear. So they need to make sure whomever it is that's doing it, whether it's the people over in China that's making it, they need to be told by Castor and Rangers, get the quality back up again, because we don't want this over the Christmas New Year period.
All right. I just give my thoughts quickly, and I think I said it last week, mate. I think whether it's been driven by the club, because we've not had any answers from them, or whether it was the Castor lads. And I'll be honest with you, we did try and get, we made contact with Castor to try and get them on the show, but obviously we've not heard anything back. We don't want to say anything, because for all we know, the boys could be on holiday, but we have tried to make contact with them, and we've not had any replies yet to see. We wanted them to speak direct to the support to see if we could maybe put some things to bed, but obviously no joy. We've been joined by Kenny. How we doing, Kenny boy?
How we doing, everybody at Rangers Radio? How's things tonight?
All right, mate. And by the way, that's Kenny.
How you doing, Kenny?
O-Y, Kenny boy, yeah. No way an H.
How's good? How's things? No, just a wee general chat, guys. I've just joined the feed there and just listening to what you're saying and stuff like that. You know, just want to touch on the game at the weekend. Another 3 points for the famous and another clean sheet. The Morelos situation, you probably touched on that earlier on.
Yep. What's your view, mate? What's your view?
Well, I know Stephen Gerrard said that he doesn't want anybody that's not 100% focused and committed, which we understand that could be the case. But I think, you know, it's hard to say now because nothing really comes out the club. There's nothing creeps out as it used to do, and the media get audits. Everything's just all speculation. Yep. But I'll say one thing though: if he seeds elsewhere, we can't afford to keep somebody like that. Even though he's been a fantastic player for us, but focusing on the season ahead, we need everybody to be 100% committed. And the last thing you want is somebody's head elsewhere. That's just my opinion, guys. What's your thoughts?
We've been running, we've all had our points of view on it, and the general consensus is, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, we shake hands, we take the money and we move on. If he wants to go, he goes. If that's the case, yeah.
What would you value Morelos as? What's the valuation?
That's a great question, mate, because obviously I think we're going to give 10%, aren't we?
Aye. I think can I come in there, Ox? I think the guy for Lille, whatever you pronounce that, he came out openly and says that Rangers knocked back 16.25 million. That was their last offer.
Euros.
Right, euros, sorry. So that's equivalent to about 14 mil, right? So I would reckon anything between 15 and above would be ideal. I think Rangers should, if he sees his turn, which I'm sorry to say because I agree with you, I don't know if it was, who was it commented on, he thought he played really well at Aberdeen, maybe you can shout it and say, I can't mind because
Albert it was Albert.
Well, right, Albert. I think he's right. I think Morelos, like Kenny says here, I don't think I know he said he's been turned. I think he's been trying in the games. I think he's been trying. I mean, he's shot and the keeper pulled off a good save. We had Barisic's free kick against Livingston. I think he's been trying in the game. He's put the ball through for Kent to score against Aberdeen. So he's been trying other things like coming away to allow the other guys to get in front of him. So I think he has been trying. I just think, as you say, maybe there was something agreed just after Christmas. If something comes in and you're happy with it, then we'll let you go. And something's happened there because if you go back to the Dubai thing, he's just not been right since then. I just don't think he's been right.
I think we've got to watch when we talk about this year for Morelos because obviously January we didn't play many games. Then he was suspended for literally nothing.
4.
And then we only had a few games, and then you can make a stat that says Morelos has hardly scored a goal this year, but he's hardly played a game this year. You know, but I think if we go to 15, Kenny, and I'll take this to Albert, 15, 17, 18 million, and you get a sell-on clause I think we'll shake hands, mate. Albert?
I don't take that price, Ox, if there was a player coming our way as well. If they've got a midfield player that suits what we need in their team, 18 million for him plus a player, I would take that. If we've not got the player, it's 20-25 million, and it's pounds, no euros. 20-25 million pounds. I wouldn't settle for anything less, mate. That's the current market. Why should we keep cutting our prices out? I mean, you're getting players all over the place, especially for up here down there who are crap and they're getting big bucks. So Rangers, it's time we go to our share of this. So 20-25 million or 17-18 plus a player.
What about yourself, Kenny?
Do you see, that's the thing, guys? I generally do think that this market that we're in the world football, I mean, you're not going to get a player for any less who scored, let's be honest, a right good few goals in European football. So you're never going to get a player very cheap these days. Not a lot of people say, oh, you'll be lucky. And some people on social media say, oh, you'll be lucky if you get 12 because he's got a bad attitude and all that kind of stuff. But let's be honest here as well. I mean, I'll touch on Luis Suarez when he done that in the World Cup. I didn't see his valuation go down. Now, it might sound a wee bit different, but I'm just putting it in perspective. And I think, you know, in my personal opinion, 18 million with sell-on clauses, I think that's if he does go that is, I think that's quite reasonable. It's a cracking bit of business.
100%.
You only fill it with people, when you start talking about a mill, you only worry about that when you work in a bank. You don't worry about it when you're measured. But I think, Albert, I get your point, but I think what happens with these transfer windows, the nearer you get to the transfer window and people know he wants to go, we're not in a good place. Because if the transfer window shuts, we're left with a player that doesn't want to play for us.
Can I come in on that?
But there's also other teams. This is only one team. The bidding war's not started yet. So all you need is another team, one or two teams to come in and start a bidding war. Then we're back in the main position again. So he's coming out, that little chairman or CEO is coming out and spinning it his way, and then the papers are coming out spinning it their way is normal, and it's their way is always against Rangers. Know what I mean? But I ain't fired, by the way. He shouldn't be in the team. I'm not saying he should be in the team because his seat's not there. He's 20% of the player he was last season. So he shouldn't be in the team until his attitude changes. If it changes, fine. Then you're up for the selection again. But don't sell cheap, guys. You don't get 20-25 million assets every day of the week here. So when's the next one we're going to get? It might be Kent, it might be Barisic, it might be somebody else. But you can't just throw it away. This is your chance to get the club into a stable, really stable financial situation on and off the park. Yeah. So you've got to take the opportunity when it arises. You cannot just throw it away.
Can I say something, guys? This guy's a Colombian international. He's a Colombian international, and the top tournament that we could play in last year was the Europa League, and the guy was one of the top scorers in it, if not the top scorer. Yeah. Well, there you go. So why would we want to sell for any less than 20 million quid? He's 100%. Colombian international, and he scored it. He's the top goal scorer in the second biggest competition in Europe. Why would we want to look under £20 million? In the current market, the way things are going now, Andy Carroll, 35 million.
Right.
How long ago was that?
Can I come in, Oxford?
I only go, Bridge.
I was just going to say that. I mean, we'll get two stories really. What Albert and Stevie just said there is absolutely true, and every Rangers fan would say we want the top what we can get from Morelos, and he's worth. If so and so is worth that money, then he's worth the same. Words to that effect. Mm-hmm. So we're looking at 20 million or upwards in reality. However, we have to be very truthful with each other. The way things are going with Morelos, and I don't know, I've just said that a bit earlier, we don't know exactly what's happening. Nobody's told us anything. We're fearing the worst. And the mere fact that allegedly Rangers are now back speaking to Lille, allegedly speaking to the Lille about the transfer, and Lille have said the best they're going to do, allegedly, is something like between 16 and 18 million euros. And I think, in all probability, Rangers will take that up to 18 million. I think they'll take it. And I don't think we should be too disappointed, because I think it's heading, the longer we keep him, the less his value will be, because he's not playing well for us. If he was playing well for us, patting the ball in the net, left, right, and centre, then you get someone to worry to warrant it.
The Bridge, they're not going to pay for what he's doing now. It's his record. As Stevie said, he's top goal scorers in different tournaments. That's in the past. That's his record. That's what they're buying. And they know everybody can go for him. Everybody, as people say, form is temporary and class is forever. So you don't buy on him. Oh, he's not playing now, so we'll drop him value. That will be right. The boy's worth £20-25 million. There is no doubt about that. That's what he's worth. Forget about all of the rest of this crap.
Hold on, Albert. Why do you think Leo have come in? Are they just chancing their arm and saying,
of course,
bid 16 million?
Of course,
you don't come in.
Not anything.
Okay. Right,
What's
can
that,
I
buddy?
I've just got in the panel, just got in these quickly. It's a yes or a no answer. Yes or no, Bridge. And I've asked some of these already. Start with Albert. Has he played his last game for Rangers?
Aye.
Albert.
Aye.
Kenny?
That's a difficult question. But
Come on, yes or no. Get off that fence.
I know, mate. I'm trying to get off it.
Come on, get off the fence. Come on, Kenny. Come on.
I'll be different. I'll say he's not played his last game.
All right, okay. All right. Henry?
I'm going to go with Kenny because I don't think the money's going to be enough. I agree with the other guys that you don't just sell this guy for €14 or 15 million euros. This guy's a proven goal scorer. He'll get you 30 goals a season. To me,
remember
that's
the rules.
£1 million.
Remember the rules of the game, Stevie. It's a yes or a no answer.
It's yes for me. No for me, sorry.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm off. Come on, we'll ask again.
sorry, opposite. Yes, no, maybe.
Maybe's aye, maybe's not. Stevie.
Oh, he's played his last game, aye.
Right, okay. Be interesting.
I'm the same. He's played his last game.
I know you. We'll see how it goes. Kenny, what are you picking up in the merchandising? Obviously, we've just talked to our fashion correspondent, Big Stephen from Drumchapel, and him and his household are very, very pleased with the quality of the gear they've got for Castor. Got their stuff for the show, no an issue. Obviously, social media has went berserk with people have had problems, issues. Have the boys bit off more than they can chew? Has it been too much? My personal view is they brought out too many different topes at the one time. What are you picking up, mate?
My personal opinion on it, when Castor first came in, right, okay, we don't know much about him. Maybe taking on a big production for a big club like Rangers might be too much for him. But to be quite fair, if you're, selling over 100,000 tops, I mean, there will be some sort of, you will get wee slight defects. I mean, some of the stuff I've seen has been maybe the inside of the collar with a knee missing. I mean, fair enough. I mean, that might be a big deal to a lot of people because you're paying a good bit of money. But at the same time, I just think what's happening is they're taking to social media and the press are loving it. They're absolutely loving it. Why not just keep their thoughts to themselves and just email the company? And I'm sure Castor will be more than happy to sort that out. Don't go to social media because
would you say that at the moment then Castor, part of the Rangers family, as a wise man pointed out to me today?
To be part of the Rangers family, you need to be a certain type of individual, or I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
Are they not even? Are they a distant cousin?
Time will tell.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll see. Because look, I just think there maybe the timing's everything. They've took on too much, and with a very small percentage of stuff, we're getting a lot of noise. And I accept that the individuals, Big Stevie, are paying a lot of money and they're entitled to their view, but I'd rather they let them try and sort it rather than going to social media.
Oh, I said I'll come in there. I totally agree, because if you're saying there, Stevie, you've got a family. If you get a family of three, you're paying £65 for your tap, and you're paying for your kids. That's a hell of a lot of money. I think overall, the new Rangers were a big club. They knew we were going to get a big response, but I think they didn't know how big, and I think it has took them with a bit of surprise. I really do.
Fox bought all his kids a top. It cost them $2,500.
Say that again.
Fox bought all his kids a top. It cost them $2,500.
I think you're right, Ox. I think you're right.
You only
I
empty
think
box, are you?
I think they did. I don't think they underestimated the original sale of the first team. I don't think they underestimated that at all. I think well, you're right, but they tried to satisfy too many people with too many products too quickly. So it was never going to work that. And plus the COVID, you've got to cut them a bit of slack and say they're in a really difficult situation with this COVID as well. So there's mitigating circumstances. But what I think on it is you should just sit back, let them complain. Don't sit back and no complain, but give them a chance to sort this. So what they need to do is don't come out with the long-winded statements they like to talk and interviews. They really do like to talk. So cut that down, get to the point, find the problem, solve the problem, and move on. That's what they need to do. I mean, it's as simple as
that. Well, we've been joined by Blue Star. Evening, Blue Star.
Evening, Oxjair. Evening, Bridgeman. Evening, Fox, and the rest of the Bears. How you all doing?
How are we doing?
Right, Blue Star.
We're looking for somebody to take a carry out of the Philippines. Do you fancy the job?
Absolutely.
What's on your mind, brah?
I was trying to get through there. When you were on about the wee man, Morelos, I'll be honest, guys, I agree with Stevie in that you wouldn't want him to go for less than 20, especially when you see what other players have went for. I've got to be honest, guys, only my opinion. The stories I've been hearing, I genuinely think that that our managers kind of cheesed off with him. And I think if we get anywhere even between 16 and 18, I think he's away, guys. On the Castor thing, Ox, I don't know. I can only speak for all the mates and everything I've got out my way. I'm keen of them, and I mean I'm keen of them. There's been horrendous mistakes for some of the taps, and the bottom line is we're on the same boat. If you're paying £660, you're not expecting rips. I mean, we all know that you can get mistakes. What I would say, and I think you're absolutely 100% right in what you and Jimmy and Bridge and that's been saying the last two weeks or that on it. There's absolutely no doubt about it. They've pushed out that amount for the demand. And probably it's been too much for them, and they've been pushing it. And there's obviously going to be mistakes, but I genuinely think they're a decent enough company, and it'll get rectified, you know. But there's no doubt about it. Also, there has been real bad ones, no.
Just out of curiosity, the guys that you know, do you know if they bought them for the shop, or did they buy them online, or do you know?
No. Most of them were for Rangers. They were.
For the shop?
Yeah.
Right. But my understanding is you picked something off the rail, took it to the till. Would you check a garment before you paid for it? Absolutely.
But a lot of them are saying, Ox, that it's actually after they've been washed.
All right, that's
whether it's, I mean, mine's has been fine. Whether it's the material or not, I don't know. But there's no doubt about it. There's been mistakes, you know.
That's how that other team for the other place are getting away with it, Kenny, because they don't wash their strips.
The green and grey hoops for you.
Very good. I like that one, Oxjair.
They don't wash themselves, never mind their strips.
No. Easy, boys, easy.
So, can I come in there, Ox?
On you go, mate.
See, what I was seeing and all is why I was mentioning online. It's Henry here. Why I was mentioning online is when people are getting their taps online, it's got the RFC logo on the packaging. Now, if you're no Rangers orientated and you're delivering a parcel, some of these parcels were deliberately getting ripped open or vandalised or whatever. So that's why I'm saying there's a lot of things I have to look into to see why. Because I was talking to, why these shirts were getting damaged, because when they were leaving the place and wherever it was getting made, they were fine. So if you take, say for talking, say there's 40%, 100% have been damaged, maybe about 20 or 30% of that seems to be online, and maybe 10 or 15% of that is because it's had the Rangers packaging. and people looking at that as just being, well, put
I
a
don't
nice
think,
through that.
I've got to be honest with you, mate. I don't think the numbers are anywhere near that. I think in the 100,000,
No.
we had a problem with about 2,000. Never got the
I don't mean that. I didn't mean that, Ox. I didn't mean that in the thing. I'm just saying, just as surmising, I think you'll find that most of them, mostly it's been online, because any time I went into the shop, you mentioned it there, you can pick the garment up, you can have a good look at it, you know what I mean? You can actually even take it off the reel and hold it up against yourself to see if you think it would fit you, and then you can get it double checked, you can get a name put on it, whatever. And so I know Blue Star was saying there it's a kind of washing. I think that's doing to maybe, as I say before to you earlier on, that they've got a place in Turkey that's making these taps. I don't know if that's the ones that's getting rushed to the shops, but it seems to be just in the last month or so that you've got COVID and all that is happening. So it could be just getting, the boys have just rushed it through because they're trying to, as you say, try to meet the demands. You know what I mean?
It really doesn't surprise me that scum mob interfere with away and strip. I mean, they've got history of this sort of thing, isn't there?
Oh yes,
scum.
Yeah.
Put them under the spotlight. But we'll move on to that, Albert. We'll move on to that. Kenny, it's an important deal for us financially. The Bears have, Big Stevie's been into the piggy bank, he had the knife up in the slot, the magic slot, trying to get the fivers out to get himself out there, to get himself a hat. Bridge is getting a pair of socks for his Christmas. He's saving up for them. We're all looking to spend money. It's an important deal for us.
Yep.
110%. It really is. As you touched on it a wee second ago as well. I mean, try to get so much merchandise, different types of taps and all that out the one go. It is a big thing, as you say. I mean, but they could have. I know that we need a variety to buy, but I would say that the tops first and foremost was the main focus, and then obviously they've brought out some training gear and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I think if there's problems out there which we've heard, on social media and for friends and stuff like that, with certain tops, I think if that is the case, and he's touched on it greatly, due to the coronavirus and all that kind of stuff, that could have come into effect, with production or whatever. But I think after the first batch of tops this season, that next season going forward, I think that'll be rectified 110%.
Blue Star is an important deal for us for financial. It's important that people get with the Piper, the quality's right, because we were all quite happy because it looked as if we were going to get down a road of quality. People were going to have to pay an extra shilling, but they were going to get quality gear. So let's hope they can sort to it because it's important for the club.
100%. And let's be honest, we've all got faith in our club. There's no way we're those upstairs are getting into a settlement like that unless they really, really looked into it. And there's no doubt about it. There's been mistakes, rightly or wrongly. But getting, as you say, it's financially, we needed the money. It's about our taps. We already know, let's be honest, Docs, because we've spoken this show the last couple of years about it. Before just after we were demoted and upwards, and then when we came back in again, we were the top selling strip, not just in Britain, but in the whole of Europe. Now that takes some doing. And that shows you the finances, and we all know where the money went to that so and so. But I mean, it's financially, it's a massive thing for our club, because we all know we buy our merchandise and we buy it in huge numbers. And I think that's been the only problem they've had because of the COVID. That was a great point, Ox. Depending on how many workers in that they've got working, they've had that much demand that they've tried to push out so many. And if there's been mistakes, there's been mistakes. But surely, to goodness, I mean, I know if I'd have got a tap and there was something went wrong with it, well, I'd have been straight back with it. I'd have made sure I got another one or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you go to Slayers and you get a suit or something wrong with it, you take it back, don't you?
Exactly. So I think you'll find, once the fans are up and running and we're back in the ground, etc., I think you'll find that this will all be hushed out. And there's been no doubt about it, because I've seen stories as well, whether they're 100% true or no, their husband sabotages, as the guy said there, so these things have been happening. And as you say, what are we talking about? Is it a couple of thousand out of him? I don't know how many's been sold, but we know it's massive numbers. And that's all because of your fans. We buy our merchandise, and it's a great deal. It's as great as we were going to get, and our team at the top know that, and that's why they went into it in the first place.
Can I come in, Ox? Yeah.
Yes, mate. And then we'll
Just things we've got to watch out with the wording. We've got to. I don't like the it'll be hushed out or moved over or forgotten about. This has got to be done right, and everybody's got to see that it's done right. And everybody in the Rangers environment has to see it's been done right, because I don't want end getting brushed over. It's a problem we've got. We need to get it resolved.
I think the point
absolutely good point.
People aren't keen. Everybody wishing their dirty on in the public. No pun intended. I think that's the point.
Yeah.
Big Stevie. Last point before we move on. For you're by far the youngest on the panel this evening, mate, and you've got the young family. What are the young teams saying about it? Do they still like the gear? Because come on, let's be honest about it. They're the majority who drive us to spend to get the money.
My wee man Ox. My wee man's 13 years old. He wouldn't be checking for flaws or anything. He just gets it on and he looks in the mirror and he gives it right. Look at that, man. Just so that's how the young teams see it. Me personally, I'd buy it all the time. I think when all's said and done, at the end of the year, Castro released a statement saying, put their hands up, saying they never go to 100% right. They know where they went wrong, and they'll get it corrected. Can I ask, Ox, what is the official numbers of strips that they've sold? No,
that's what I'd like to know and all.
We don't know, mate. But what I would like to know, I wouldn't like to know that number. I would like to know the number of garments they've sold. Because I think that's where your problem will come from, because that'll be a tremendous number. Kenny?
You're right. You're absolutely right, and the response I get again for the Rangers fans has been outstanding. But I don't know what official number either. But you're probably maybe talking. I really don't know. Maybe well over 100,000 anyway. Well over 100,000.
Can I come in there, Ox?
Yes, mate.
What I heard for that James Cosgrove, he was on about 5 days ago, and I think he was talking about something like it was over 45,000 home taps, 30,000 away taps, and then he was saying because the older fans don't tend to wear a strip, they were buying like Albert, I think he was saying there, tracksuits and things like that. So he was saying it like Kenny was saying there. It's well over 100,000, but I think, guys, what we've got to remember here and all, and I think this has been a problem as well. We've been out the market for the best part of since 2012.
Yep.
Now, and then we had a clown in place for the last 4 years. It was giving us seven pence to every pound if you bought his strips. Now you've got guys that's come in and says, right, Rangers, you've got the last chairman there at the left and says, right, that's us. They've fought him for 4 years to get rid of this clown. And they says, right, guys, you can buy the strips. And I just think, I don't mean the Rangers fans have been a wee bit, I think they've been a wee bit OTT, just going, all right, let's get everything, let's get that, right, grab that, right, we'll get that. And maybe the demands has just been a wee bit erratic because the Rangers fans for the last 4 or 5 years haven't had the chance to properly, as I think it was Blue Star it was saying, merchandise-wise, Rangers are the number one club. You tell me, I'll say this to these guys. This is my last point on it. For 5 months, we've been in a COVID situation. You tell me any club in England, France, Germany, Spain, that's put money, as much money through the door as we've done at Rangers Football Club in a COVID situation, and we've got well over £100,000 worth of gear, 100,000 strips or whatever. We've got my chairs, we've got dog out. The money that's going through Rangers just now, and what they've done, the stadium's getting all done, the shop's been revamped. There's no other club doing anything. Not even Celtic Football Club has done that, and they've no mentioned one thing.
You watch your line.
They haven't come out. Ox, they haven't come out once and says, "Oh, we've been. I don't know, is it Adidas or we?" They haven't come out once and says, "Oh, we've sold 35,000 shirts, or we've made this." They don't come out with their merchandise because the way they buy players and the way they sell players, that's how they make their money. They're going to sell their players to make their money. And what people say to me was, Stephen Gerrard, is he the right man? Well, listen, this is the first season in 7 years, I can honestly say we've got players that's worth millions, and that's Stephen Gerrard that's done that. We've got players where Alfie goes or no, it proves it. 10 million. Alfie,
All right, Isaac.
we're talking about. Do you know what I mean? So,
all I know is I waited
the money's
in that queue for an hour. I waited in that queue for an hour and didn't get what I wanted. And all I wanted was a roll of sausage.
the burger bag. Oh dear. Kenny.
I was going to come in there. You know, the thing was, right, see, through all the Mike Ashley scenario, right, what really bugged me, right, it might seem trivial, but you probably agree with me. You're driving about Scotland, Glasgow and other cities, right, you've seen a lot, let's be quite fair, you've seen a lot of beer taps, right, and we've not seen many yours because of the current situation at the time. But see now, I'm starting to see, when you're out and about, you know, the young boys or, you know, whoever wearing Rangers taps now, and it's starting to feel more like what it was like before Ashley took her. You know, it's that fuel factor, good fuel factor back now that you're seeing a lot of taps when you're out and about, and that's what it should be. You know, it's good to see that.
Fox, we spoke about this ages ago. See the mad thing with Ashley? See if Ashley had done things even half decently, we would have made him more money than all his shops probably put together. See if he'd have screwed it up. Look at the merchandise we would have bought.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have made him. We would have.
It became a personal thing rather than a business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't add up. Kenny, I just want to come back to you, mate. Our club, and Henry made some of the points, but our club, we're generally in a good place. For where we've been, where we are, even where we were before Gerrard came in the door, where the change, the support, first of all, the guys on the board, maybe the management team, Bisgrove's come in, we've announced the Sky Wi-Fi, things are getting sorted. Every week something else is getting done. We're in a good place, mate.
You know something that's outstanding? And a few people mentioned this to me before, and I don't know about your thoughts on this, right? I mean, Rangers. It's a massive story where Rangers have came from, and you know, a lot of people say, "Oh, should make a documentary about it because the fans." You know,
I don't want to let you in a secret. Brad Pitt has to play me in the movie.
I'm sure.
Is that no Bill Pitt?
That's Bill, aye.
It says it's something that, I mean, the story for the beginning, the bad days to right up to now is phenomenal. And the media don't report. The media are still looking to this day to shoot our club down. They can't print anything to say, you know, this is excellent. Rangers have done this and that. They hate it. They hate it. The poison media are still looking for something.
Oh, it's just what we've done in the last 2 years is miraculous. Let's be truthful. When whoever it was that went and got wee Pedro, set us back again. So in the last 2.5 years, we've rectified everything from top to bottom, which is absolutely.
Big Stevie, we've moved on rapidly. Is there a feel-good factor? All we want to do is get back into the ground and see the team, but is there a feel-good factor?
Oh, 100%. Well, no, it's just a pity with this COVID situation that the Bears can't get back to the football. Apart from that, our club on and off the field are doing absolutely fantastic. And see if you're a Rangers fan and you're going to disagree with that, I don't know what bubble you're living in. Off the park, the boy Bisgrove has done wonders, by the way. Absolute wonders. Stevie G, see, half of the players, Joe Aribo, guys like that, they wouldn't have came to Ibrox if it wasn't for him. And honestly, guys, owning half the part of clubs, the surroundings, the name Rangers, but I've always been proud of my club, no matter what. But see, just the last couple of years, your head's back above the parapet again, and you're proud as heck, man. Rangers have done great, and they've not got a lot of. We all know this country's driven by the SNP and their agendas, and I'm not going to get into that. We all know that, and we're never going to get the coverage we deserve. But see us Bears, do you know what they've done to us? They've galvanised us. They've galvanised us all together, and we know we're no friends now. We know we're no friends. We're on board, Jack, and that's the way we like it. And we will always make sure our club as Rangers fans drive forward. And we're in a great place, Ox. An absolute great place. Oh, see, just while we're on, I don't want to change it quickly, but Kenny McCallum, it's on there.
Yes.
Aye, Stevie.
Aye.
Kenny, I just want to thank you personally for the work you've done on young Robert Mulholland at Dyne Ibrox disaster. I want to thank you personally on air for the work you've done last year there. You and Si done for us, mate. You've done us proud, and you've given us a wee pedestal. And I want to thank you personally for all the work you put on you and Ibrox Radio. Okay, mate?
You know something, mate? It was a privilege. You know something? I learned so much when I was up in Drumchapel and that, mate. And you know something? It's something that's I enjoyed being in all your company.
Kenny, can I just say you're probably the only person that learned anything in Drumchapel.
What I learned when I was in Drumchapel for the first time is how to run.
But I learned to don't go back.
What I learned is give up your wallet without a fight.
There's a lot of good people in Drumchapel. Right, Albert.
Hello.
We're in a good place here, mate. Obviously, we want to get back and see the team. The turnabout has been miraculous. The boy Bisgrove, every week, there's little deals getting done, the sponsorship for that. He's sorting out the Wi-Fi for the stadium when we get back into it. There's so much positivity. Stevie's right about the press. We know they've got agenda. I don't want to start bridge because he's not took his blood pressure pills. But we know that. And this is how the social media, the fans forums and what we do and what other people do is so important to try and get our message across. Because we know there's agendas out there, mate.
Of course there is. I mean, I don't think any Rangers fans under any illusion now about these agendas. And we could talk all day about them. And we will talk about them because we'll not let them go unnoticed and on a comment, no comments put on them. But the club itself is, in that boy Bisgrove, I mean, it's baby steps and giant steps. It's unbelievable. He just keeps working away, and his department keeps working away and dodging away and working away, and it's all good news. Good. All right, the Castors, we've got a blip in the Castors, and it will get sorted. I'm totally confident of that because the two boys that run that come out as genuine guys who want the quality stuff. They will sort that. That's not a problem. But in general, we're on a solid base now. We definitely are ready for the fight now, and there's nothing going to stop us, absolutely nothing. And this team we're building now is going to be special. I'm telling you, this is going to be a special team.
Yep. Ox, no, I've see the guy Tilsley, Clive Tilsley, it's been commentating.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. See, listening to him the last three games there. See some of the things he's been coming out with. His enthusiasm. He keeps telling you straight. He says, I knew this club were massive, he says, but I never knew they were even bigger, he says, than what I thought they were. See, just hearing that from an English guy who's been to every stadium in the world, that's so refreshing to hear, you know what I mean? And that just makes you feel even better. And as you say, the last couple of years, the strides that our club's made, it is miraculous. It's absolutely astounding, and they're only going to get better and better and better.
Kenny, you made the point about no leaks, but the social media platform at the club, the information we're getting, everything's improved, isn't it?
I agree. Even the format of the websites, excellent. In depth. You can go in there. Anybody that's not been in it, it's listening now. You can go in there. You can find it. It's in depth now. You've got players, stats. No, they've done a great job. A fantastic job.
You know. But all
the thing, can I come in, Ox? The thing I like is what Kenny, what you says earlier on, mate. What you says earlier on was there's very little comes out the club. See, before Cosgrove and Ross Wilson came in,
Bisgrove,
sorry. You could find out who the Rangers was signing when you went out for a coffee, but now you don't know nothing. These guys are turning up. You go, oh yeah, and then. But what I like about them is the guys that's coming in, as Kenny says, they're fitting in. I'm okay, we know the two forward guys are going to take a week. A big defender, he looks really classy, he looks the part, but they're not taking that Mark Haitley year thing to fit in or Ali's year. They see so I like what they says before there. I like the kind of thing that I think Jared knew has learnt his lesson. I think these 2 years has taught Jared how to build a team, not just how to pick a team. I think he's got that Klopp thing about him I like to see, because I think before he was using the kind of, people say it, Rafa Benitez idea, kind of try and have the one striker up and hope it was. But I think he's learnt this season. I think you're going to see two guys up front. You maybe see Ethan being in the kind of number 9 and Roof being the number 10. So I can see maybe Roof going out maybe towards maybe the right wing where Candace used to be. I think you can see things like that happening.
You're not going to get the same performance. Candace and Ruth are the same players, mate.
No, I don't think so, but I don't think that's what he's looking for, because I think when he came in, he didn't like Candace, because I think he knew that wasn't the guy he wanted, and I don't think that's the type of person we need. I think what we need, if you look at Ryan Kent goes out in the left wing, switches to the right, switches to the middle, and I think he sees Roof can do that. Roof can switch about right across that whole front. He can play right wing, centre forward, and play just after at number 10. So I think that's the kind of players he wants up front. What you see with Liverpool,
If Morelos goes, that only really leaves Jack and Tav for anybody that played under Kuchina. Murray, it's a frightening turnover, Big Stevie.
That is the half. Oh, Sammy's just going to come in there and say a wee second ago, I'm just going to ask you, by the way, we've missed Bagaribo, something terrible I know, by the way. See what the big man brings to, we've got to remember, we're beating teams there comfortably. It should have been 4-0 on Saturday there. You're playing with guys, Bagaribo would have opened them up. He'd have had a couple of goals. Even at Livingston, we missed him badly at Livingston. He's a guy who can maybe beat a guy, curl one into the bottom corner, you know what I mean? So we've got to remember all that too, but aye, definitely. We're in a good place. We're in a good place, guys. And see, by the way, we need to stop making it easier for the propagandists who want to sit and tear our club up apart. See, when people's got problems with their strips, see when people's want to down the team, we need to keep it all in-house, guys. We really need to do, because we've only got our own 2 feet to stand on now. There's nobody helping us. Nobody.
Exactly.
For the highest to the lowest, nobody. And by the way, we all need to listen to Albert a wee bit more. We need to be a wee bit more ruthless. Like Albert just says it how it is, and by the way, there's no messing about, and that's what I like about Albert when he's talking about the Bears. We need to get back. We're not going back on our knees again, guys. We're going forward. No. We've got the right guys in place. We've got the right people in place now. And by the way, see our man, Mr. King. By the way, see what you want about him. What a job he done before he left.
Oh, 100%.
And Bob said it yourself. We should call that walkway for the subway up to the mega store, the King's Highway. For what that man done, stood by and done everything he said he was going to do, we should call that the King's Highway. Really should.
I think if you watch the film coming out, you'll see that when Brad walks up there, mate.
Brad.
Kerry, can I thank you for the message? I got the message through somebody else. Thanks very much, mate. Much appreciated.
What's that? Sorry.
Thanks very much. I got a message for you. Yeah, thanks a lot, mate.
No problems. I was going to come in with that there. When you were talking about when Dave King left, I was at a speakers night with John Gilligan. Right, this was a right good few years ago, and he came up on stage and he says, "Listen, guys, believe you me, give Dave King 4 years or whatever, and he'll leave the club in a steady place. You've got my word on it." And see, looking back, I could tell with just even looking at the guy that he was 100% genuine. He's been absolutely spot on. So John Gilligan, if he's listening, fantastic, and you were bang on, buddy.
John Gilligan.
We needed to have patience then, didn't we? We needed to have patience then to allow the guys to do what they were doing, because we were still at that point in time. We were quite impatient to get. Let's see what we're doing. Give us some movement. I was at every meeting regarding the Rangers, and standing in a freezing cold, sitting in the rain. It was just shocking.
Anyway, gentlemen, it's hard to believe.
Oh my goodness!
We've reached that time of the evening.
Oh, that great night.
Big Stevie, a word for us. And
I just want to say what what a wee show tonight. A lot of good callers there. Kenny McCallion, Harry, the boy from the Philippines. Absolutely fantastic. And I want to say this, please, guys, as bears for all the world, we need to stick together. We're on board, Jack. Our team's doing great. We're doing great financially, on and off the field. And let's just stick together and let's get 55 in the bag, man, and hit these people where it hurts. Okay. Thanks for having me on the panel tonight, Ox. It's been a total privilege and a pleasure to be on the panel. And I can't thank you enough. Okay, that's me. Happy days.
Happy days. What can I say? A wonderful night.
Brilliant, mate.
Wonderful night tonight. Absolutely superb. Great discussions, as Big Stevie mentioned there, and everybody knows and participated. Excellent. Well done, Oxter. Superb, and well done to the guys that made it all happen. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, every single one is, the battle cries out. It's there. We need to stick together. So everybody, keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers really need us, and they really do. Keep it going.
Thanks to Martin, Luke, and Robert for phoning in for the first time. I believe the threes, first time tonight. Always a great pleasure to hear from Kenny. Kenny, I hope your show goes from strength to strength, mate. They're part of the Rangers family. Can I thank Albert, Blue Star, always a pleasure. And of course, Bridgeman and Big Stevie for the drum for holding the fort tonight. This has been Rangers Radio. The whole team will be back together tomorrow night when Bridgeman, myself, and Fox are on the show. Look forward to hearing you all. Thanks for listening. Thanks to all Schoolboy for doing the technicals. Take it easy. Speak tomorrow night between 8 and 10, talking about all things Rangers.
Oh, every other Saturday, my half day up, and it's up to the match I go. Happily we wander down the Copeland Road, me and my wee pal Joe. Oh, we love to see the lassies with the blue scarves on. We love to hear the boys all roar. But I don't have to tell you the best of all, we love to see the Rangers score. Whoa, me, oh, me, oh, me, oh, my. Oh, how we love to hear the cry. We love to see the lassies with the blue scarves on. We love to hear the boys all roar. But I don't have to tell you the best of all, we love to see the Rangers score. Oh, we won the Scottish League about 1,000 times. The League Cup is simple too. We gave some exhibitions in the Scottish Cup. We gave a Wembley Wizard too. And when the Glasgow Rangers win the European Cup, when they won they had before, we'll rally round an Ibrox 100,000 strong. We'll give the boys an Ibrox roar. Whoa, me, oh, me, oh, me, oh, my. Oh, how we love to hear the cry. We love to see the lassies with the blue scarves on. We love to hear the boys all roar. But I don't have to tell you the best of all, we love to see the Rangers score. Oh, how we love to hear the cry. We love to see the lassies with the blue scarves on. We love to hear the boys all roar. But I don't have to tell you the best of all, we love to see the Rangers score. Whoa, me, oh, me, oh, me, oh, my. Oh, how we love to hear the cry. We love to see the lassies with the blue scarves on.
We love to hear the boys all roar. But I don't have to tell you the best of all. We love to see the Rangers score.